We have new events. I'm going to go over these in order. I have them all written down. Right now, we're going to put up the Primo Gem code. So if you come to this video, leave a like. Please enjoy these free codes on this side. On my right. It's on the right. You can see it on screen, okay? Anyways, leave a like. Be sure to subscribe. I'm going to go over this. I'm going to give my opinions on each. So it's going to be a little bit longer of a video than normal. But I feel like this is actually a good event. But first, I'm going to talk about why the freak did we get VTuber Barbara? Who were they baiting? Who kept putting in on the freaking Mihoyo's surveys? It'd be great if Barbara was a VTuber. I'm not like totally into her or anything. I would just really love it if you just gave me like, I don't know, what was that, like 3 minutes of Barbara just talking to us about her, like, I guess how she prepared to be her idol self. I do think that kind of makes more sense to use your idol character, right? But I just thought that was like really funny. I was just like, what is this random moment with Barbara and why? Just why? I know some of you were just like, yes, and I'm not. Just just why? That's all I'm gonna say. So we had the Lantern event, right? This is 1.3. Now, big disappointment. No Hu Tao. No Hu Tao. So big sad. We know that, or we are pretty sure that her event or her leveling item is the jade drop you get from the new bosses that are coming out in this one. So I'm gonna say she'll probably come in March, but this is a guess. This isn't a leak. I have no information on this. This is just my guess. After that, we have Zhongli buffs. I believe there's 5 of them. 5 Zhongli buffs. It's freaking ridiculous, but they didn't go too crazy on that, so I'm not going too crazy on it. Xiao, very edgy boy. He looks like he's gonna have a nice kit. I'm gonna go into detail about that a bit later. But the first thing you got from his character trailer is him telling one of the enemies to cry. So I was like, oh Jesus Christ, here we go. We got Sasuke too. Also, Xiao's story, you're gonna be able to get to it at level 23 instead of having to be at level 40. Now, I believe they either said after the event you have to be level 40 to do it, or later parts of it you're gonna have to be at level 40. But this is gonna be the first time that people can just experience a story without needing a story key, so that's really good. So take advantage of it while you have it, otherwise you're gonna be at level 40, and man, that grind. So yeah, we can get into some of Xiao's stuff. I have them written down. So Xiao takes no damage from plunging attacks. He can just plunge from anywhere, so you can go to the top of freaking Dragon Spine and just dive bomb, right? I think that's a little weird of a mechanic, since that's only really, there's probably going to be a cap to it. It's probably going to be a cap where he can actually use the damage, right? But if he does that, that means that he can only really get his maximum damage outside of domains and stuff. Unless, as my brain was saying, the reason why they gave Albedo an elevator was for Xiao. So you go into Albedo, throw up his elevator. You most likely didn't get Ganyu if you got Albedo, unless you're a whale, then you might have gotten both of them. But this way there was probably enough space, and they probably want you to use Albedo's elevator, use Xiao. You can probably jump a bit more, because we'll get into something about Xiao's mechanic. And then after you use the 2 of them, dive bomb, and we have to see how much like damage that does. Because this could be really dumb, where it's only like 1,000 damage, like, ooh, it's, well, 1,000 damage isn't great. It's 5,000 damage. Oh my gosh, wow, so cool. He does 5,000 damage. Ooh, or this could be something crazy like we saw with Ganyu, and this dude's gonna do like 30k damage. So we have to kind of like wait and see till his character trailer comes out. He's actually not that far away. You guys are like a week away from Xiao. I know there are a ton of Xiao simps. I don't really care that much, but I know full well they're like so pumped. They have like 8, about a week. Let's just say about a week. You have about a week. I think it comes out on the 3rd, so you have about a week, or a week and a half. Either way, you get my point. Xiao's level 2 is a dash, so you get an amino dash that you can go through enemies with, and it looks like it has a little AoE, like it looked like it was doing damage to more than one. And at the same time too, you can dash in the air. So if we ever get I hope we never get another fast food event, but if we do get another fast food event, Xiao might be able to cover you quite a bit. Like, you just dash. He gets 2 dashes, by the way. I wonder if there's going to be a way to give him a cooldown to level, or to do like 3 of them, like Sucrose with her freaking sacred fragments. I use that on her, and she gets 3, plus her constellation gives her another one, or a chance for another one. So we have to see, maybe Xiao will get a 3rd one. We don't know. It's like, this is all up in the air. As we can see by people who have been leaking, I don't think they're that off, but they're still a little off, like with this Kaching banner instead of Hu Tao. That still hurts. I was here for Ryo Takahashi. But anyways, let's keep going for the Xiao supremacists people. So, his final move, when he gets a mask on, gives him AoE damage. He gets, I believe, buffed. And his jump gets buffed. So, I don't know how high he will be able to jump, but you will be able to use his plunging attack. I don't know how that's going to work so much for mobile players. I feel like that's going to be a lot tougher to use, but they did just say they're going to allow, I think it's iOS devices to use controllers. So, you'll basically have your little switch on your phone. However long your phone lasts, just that many gigabytes, I have no idea. But I'm pretty sure I think you'll be able to play that way. So Xiao is also going to get the mechanic we thought was going to be for Hu Tao. I don't remember if people thought Xiao was going to get this as well. But Xiao is also going to have his I take damage for the amount of time that I use my ult. So he will be taking damage the entire time you're using his ultimate. So I wonder if it's just until he dies and it shuts off, or if there's a certain amount of time. If you can do it manually, can you just turn it off yourself? Or do you have to switch? Like, do you have to take him out as a character? But he seems like I feel like they're going to be building him for DPS, like just solid DPS. Because that's the only way those mechanics kind of work. Like, his dash attack does not sound like it would support at all. Like, you're doing Swirl, that sounds like you have to capitalize on the elements that are put out in the field. With his ultimate is like I'm going last stand, I'm going to kill everything kind of ultimate. You know, it just does not sound like a support ultimate. So, more likely than not, they're building him for DPS. And seeing how Zhongli reacted and how they made all the buffs, I'm going to guess he might be on the stronger side, but let's wait and see. Don't take this as a confirmation for anything. Okay. So, we have the Kaching banner, and the reason why I think they can get away with it possibly is because they did the stand by me thing. Now, this was a smart move by Mihoyo, because it took me like 2 seconds, and I was like, oh, that's why they know people aren't going to complain. Like, people are going to complain. The Hu Tao whole supremacy gang is going to complain, like, obviously. But with this event, they're now allowing you to choose one 4-star. So Randy, so Kamito, so Trappy, so I don't think Trappy made fun of me. Anybody who's made fun of me on streams about not having Beidou, guess what? I bet you can guess who I'm gonna pick, right? Freaking, we're about to have Beidou, so yes, that's a free Beidou on the 18th, so screw you guys. Xiao event, I think it's either the story or the lantern event. It's gonna be the 11th to the 26th, but Xiao comes out like on the 3rd. I saw some sort of time frame. That's the reason why I wrote it down. It's the 11th to the 26th. We're getting a lot of free stuff. So Night Grace is going to be free materials. 5 Flushes of Fortune. You take photographs for specific colors, and then you trade those colored photographs in for primogems and other rewards. You can also, if you get a bunch of photos, like let's say you get a bunch of red photos and somebody else gets a bunch of purple photos, you can trade photos to your friends. So get friends, as the male actor for Aether told us that he has no friends and has not accepted Paimon's friend request. Ouch. Then we have new bosses, the V-Shaps. So it turns out those V-Shaps we already fight, the little like Geo bosses, are actually just the baby versions of their terrifying mothers and fathers who seem to be able to grasp multiple elements and do damage back to you. So this event's kind of loaded. There's going to be an expedition side to this, right? So you get 2 characters, you send them out in an expedition, and they're going out to go find one of these things. After they find it, you get to now fight this thing, and I don't know if you get to fight it with a friend's character. They allowed you to put a friend's character. I'm not so sure if it's just for the expedition or for the boss fight. I'm gonna say it's most likely than not for the expedition, because I don't get you guys' hopes up. Let's go low. Let's lowball this. It's only for expedition, right? If it happens to be like, oh, boss fight, cool, but I mean, let me lowball all of you, right? So you're gonna fight the thing after you find it. And I don't know if it's gonna be multiple days or not, but that's a very interesting thing that they're gonna take this into that kind of direction. That now Expedition now has a 2-character thing. Like, it's the first time we're having that, right? Also as well, for events, we're gonna have a Xiao market. The market has nothing to do with Xiao specifically. You just get to buy more event stuff. So, you know, the normal event currency, you buy things that help you level up, or whatever materials they throw in there. Typically, it's leveling up materials. Typically, it's crystals, and then yada yada. You know how that goes. We also have Genshin Arknights, because we have a tower defense game in our Genshin Impact. And I honestly feel this is one of the most creative events they've done, to me. So we're doing like a tower defense thing. You are inside the board, so you are playing with the board, right? But you get to set up these little like towers that do elemental damages to the enemies, and it looks like they do a ton of damage, like a lot of damage. But you have to kill enemies to get more materials in order to build them during the fight. They can have like malfunctions, it looks like, or at least that's what Paimon and them are making it sound like. You also get to possibly make reactions, so probably like if you get like a water tower and a cryo tower, you'll probably be able to freeze things. Like, I don't know about this is just my head speculation, but that's what it looks like they're going. So it looks really fun. This actually looks like something very creative that's not just like reskin boss again, fly event where you just fly through rings like Superman 64. Like, it's not as bad as Superman 64. It was still okay. But these events typically don't seem like the most creative situations. Typically it's usually just more of the same, and like you have to give Mihoyo a break to some degree. They're not going to come up with new stuff like every week. It'd be kind of ridiculous, or at least they'd have some like really creative team. I mean, maybe they hire some of you guys if you feel like you have good ideas. Who knows? We now have a living being archive, so you can now look at all the enemies and other animals, not people, I'm pretty sure it's the animals and stuff, in their 3D model form. So you get to check them out, do like a whole 3D rotation. It's probably going to be really good for thumbnails. I'm excited for that for thumbnails. I saw that and I went, oh my gosh, thumbnail material. I wonder if you're going to be able to see the bosses. You'll probably be able to see them. That's going to be freaking sick. You can also show off your characters to your friends and your achievements. We've now hit Xbox Live additions of content, so you can also show off your characters with their builds. So you know that one guy on Discord who won't stop bragging about his build but never tells you about it, but he added you as a friend like an idiot because he shouldn't have. He only did it because he wanted to brag to you. Well, now that guy is unlucky because now you can see his freaking artifacts. If he allows you to, which I'm not so sure he's going to do that because he wants to act supremacy. Anyways, but the point remains, you have a chance to see it now and then make your build better. We're also getting Ascension material exchanges. So it looks like we're getting this powder, salt, whatever, that you can now use at the, is it the, what do you call it, the alchemy table, at the alchemy table thing, right? You can now exchange pieces for other pieces that don't even fit. I think they showed like a pyro crystal being exchanged for a geo crystal, so completely different, right? I don't like it completely because I wish they would just make it like you can deconstruct and reconstruct things, but at the same time, this is one of those things like, oh my gosh, I ran out of all my hydro crystals. What will I do? Well, it turns out that electro crystals turn to hydro. This is not confirmed. I don't know if they do that. I'm just giving you an example. Oh my gosh, look, I have that hydro crystal. I guess we can make VTuber Barbara also VTuber DPS Barbara. Things are saved. Yay. So there you go. You know, that's pretty cool. Lastly, we have the double ley lines. So ley lines will now give you double of the rewards for a certain period of time during the event. I think it was like 3 times a day they'll allow that to happen, so that's good. During this Xiao event, you can level up your characters. My Beto is going to go from level 1 to level 80, maybe level 90 if I let my world level go up. But yeah, so that's going to be pretty cool. It seems like a really fun event. In my opinion, I feel like this is a good move to go in. Now, they should, I feel like, again, you should at least try to make 2 characters a month. I feel like that's kind of a thing, but at the same time, I know they want game balance. And what people have to take into consideration, and I don't like it either as much, but you have to take into consideration, there's only so much content they can make. I think they have 8 regions, right? So let's say they did it like how everybody actually wants it to happen. Like, no one's going to say it to you, but this is basically what mostly everybody wants, is we get all 8 regions once a month. Well, then we don't have any content after this year. It's done. The game is done. They're not adding anymore. It's going to be done unless they, like, really feel like, oh, this game was very successful, we're making money from doing this, let's keep going. But otherwise, no. I wasn't expecting a whole new area after Dragonspine, and I know people were kind of saying that, like, with, oh, we're gonna get it in Zuma, but we have to wait and see. With Hu Tao being pushed back, who knows if it's not going to be in Zuma until like halfway through the next month, like halfway through March, right? I've always said it, take these leaks with like a grain of salt, like don't hop to them. Even with Xiao right now, because people are like, Xiao's going to be nerfed. It doesn't look like it right now, but at the same time, we don't know what he's going to do. Don't ask anybody about their experience with Xiao in the beta when the beta isn't here anymore. I played the original Pokemon Go beta before everybody else did for like I was a year before everybody else at Pokemon Go, and the game completely changed. It was not as easy to level characters. You couldn't catch everything. I caught everything in the original Pokemon Go thing. Every Kanto Pokemon that was out, because it was obviously just a Kanto Pokemon. And it was everything. But now there wasn't. And then the whole area's changed, and then it would be a completely different game. If I were to start and just go, oh, well, here's my experience, it's a completely different game. And I've seen some of the beta footage for Xiao, and the game's different. Like, the setup, the borders of the game are completely different. So don't rush to any conclusions. Do I think Xiao's going to be good? So far, it looks like he'll probably be a good DPS. But, as we have to wait, just like with Ganyu, everybody was like, Ganyu's going to be Cryo Amber. And then she wasn't. And then she's 10k Ganyu, who does crit damage every 5 seconds. And all you have to do is give her a bow with crit rate, and then she murders everything. Like, one battle pass. And that's it. She just murders everything. So, just be very cautious with these. I think this is a good event. Again, Primo Gem codes right here. If you made it this far, here's a Primo Gem codes. We, again, double take. And I'll catch you all later. This looks like it's going to be a fun event. Peace out. Save up. This is your Xiao moment. I hope you get him. Okay, I wish you the best. And I'll see you later. Peace. Don't leave!